Hey guys, this is Jessica and welcome back to my channel, The Retro Farmhouse. I wanted to jump on here real quick and do a quick little tutorial that I came up with using some scrap wood from some cedar fence pickets that I've had. If you saw my video that I made of the little in-ground boxes that I made for my planter garden, I'll put a link up in the video up here if you haven't seen that yet. I had used these same fence pickets and I had a bunch of them left over, so I wanted to go ahead and recreate another kind of little garden feature. And so I came up with this little idea that I saw at a little local I guess it's kind of like a little local eatery place we have around here, and they just had all these really nice flowers out and these nice little planters, and it's actually really not a hard project to do, so I wanted to come on here and show you guys how I did that. So without further ado, let's get into doing today's video. So the first thing I did with my boards is I wanted to go ahead and mark my side pieces. So I went ahead and just took this and cut that down on my saw. So I'm creating kind of a V shape. So you're gonna have two sides that are exactly the same. And then for my front piece, I had a smaller section that was about 4 inches wide. And then my back section was at least 10 inches wide. And because I'm using old reclaimed wood, some of this wood tended to split more if I didn't do pilot holes, so that's my reason for doing some pilot holes here first and then using some outdoor screws to screw these together. As you can see here, it's starting to take shape in a wheelbarrow type of form, which is what I'm going for here. And next, I wanted to take some of my other scrap pieces of board and I'm gonna lay those underneath. And I'm just gonna mark those with my pencil here of where I'm gonna cut this. I find that this is the easiest way to do any type of angle, is to just basically lay your piece over top of it and then do a line and then cut that from there. I found it easier just to use my circular saw to cut these at the right angle. Next, I did the same process. I just drilled my pilot holes and then I applied my screws. And I also applied a little bit of wood glue as well, just to give it a little bit more security. I like to use this Gorilla wood glue. It's good for indoor and outdoor projects. For my next part, I wanted to create some little handles, so I just took this smaller piece of reclaimed wood that I had. This one's probably more like a 1 by a 1.5, and I just did 2 equal sections, and I made them come to a point in the front and then just a little bit more extended out through the back. And same process of how I secured these onto my box here. I just did some pilot holes and drilled some screws down into the front and the back of this. That way this stayed really well secured. Now I have these 4 little scrap pieces left over and I'm gonna do my wheel. Now you could probably just do this on one piece. I wanted to kind of sandwich these together to create a more thicker wheel. And I found that using my wood glue and then just putting some clamps on this and just leaving this overnight really helped to secure these two together. And how I'm going to create my wheels, I'm actually going to do a half moon shape on both of them and then apply them together. And I'm just using any type of round object here. I wanted my wheel to be a little bit bigger, so I'm just kind of tracing around both of these equal sections so that I can then take and cut this out on my scroll saw. Next, I took some more wood glue and just applied that to the centers of my half circles here, and then I just clamped this together and let it dry overnight. I wanted to add kind of a decorative little vintage look to this, so I'm just taking my mint chip from DIY Paint and my little JRV stencil brush, and I'm just gonna stencil this little harvest word on here. I thought that'd be really cute. It kind of looks like an old little vintage crate, or maybe that I repurposed a little vintage crate out of this. And I'll put a link below if I can find where I got this. I know I got it off of Amazon, but if I can find that, I'll put that below here. And again, I'm just tapping my excess off and then just doing a tapping motion up and down to apply this. I didn't really try to get full coverage because I wanted it to look like it was a little bit worn and it's been maybe out in the weather. Next, I just marked where I was going to drill my pilot holes here to connect my wheel onto my front side. And I found it easiest because obviously I'm going in an angle here to just apply my drill bit kind of at an angle until I got a little bit of an indentation, and then I could invert it upright and put it straight down through there. I found that that was kind of the easiest trick to get it to go in more straight. Next, I'm just going to take a little bit of that same glue and I'm going to apply that to my holes here, and I've just taken this little dowel rod and I've cut this down to size, and I'm just going to slowly tap this in through my wheel into the other side. I purposely made my holes a little bit smaller because I wanted this to be more of a tighter fit. That way it's really just holding in there by the wood. Next, I took two more scrap pieces and I wanted to just put some little legs on the back. That way this sat at an angle, and I just kind of cut the bottom part at an angle as well, so it kind of sat more flat to the ground. I didn't really end up having to drill any type of drainage holes into this. This already has slats in the bottom of it, so it's going to drain pretty well. And I just love using different kinds of flowers next to my gardens. It really helps to have the bees come as pollinators for your vegetables and also add some nice little color to the area. And here's how today's project turned out. I just love how this little wheelbarrow garden planter turned out. It makes me want to recreate some other type of items out of this fence picket wood. And I just really love how it looks like a vintage little item, a little country item that maybe you buy from one of those nicer garden stores. And it just adds a lot of really nice, pretty flowers to my landscape area. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's project. If you did, don't forget to hit me a like button, as well as consider subscribing. That really helps out my channel. And leave me a comment below and let me know what some of the favorite flowers you guys like planting for this type of spring season. And don't forget, we'll have another DIY for next week.